Hello, this is the Devil on Holiday. Today I will be demonstrating how to set up a virtual Ubuntu server that can be accessed from the internet as a web server, FTP server, SSH server, or whatever you would like to be accessed. Firstly, you will need virtualization software, and I'm using Oracle's VirtualBox. This can be obtained from the website, like so. Just click on Downloads, and you can download it for your operating system. Next we'll need an Ubuntu Server ISO. To find this, just Google Ubuntu Server and click Download. This is about a 600 megabyte file, so this may take a while. See, 572 megabytes. Just click Save and wait until the download is finished. Once it is downloaded, you can close your browser, click New in VirtualBox. Now I'm going to call this Ubuntu Tutorial. Now I have 8 GB of RAM in my system, but it is recommended 512 megabytes, but I'm going to set this as 1 GB just to be sure. You need to create a new virtual hard drive, dynamically allocated, so it doesn't use, say for example, you set it as 8 GB. Dynamically allocated means that it will get bigger as space is used up in the drive. But I am going to set mine as 10 GB. Obviously this depends on how much space you have on your hard drive and how much stuff you want to have on your server. Just click Create. There we go, it has been created. Now we need to adjust some settings. This you can normally leave. Go to System. You can untick Floppy. Make sure that the CD is at the top, followed by the hard drive. Go to Processor. I have 6 cores, so I'm going to set mine to 6. If you're running, say, a dual core system, you want to set this to 2, and so on. And it always helps if you enable this, if you have a system able to do enable. That you can normally leave. This I like to just leave it alone, but here you need to go to choose a file. Then you want to go into your downloads and find the file you just downloaded. Click Open. Audio, it's a server, don't need that. Now this is important. You need to change this to bridged adapter to your appropriate internet connected device. For me this is wireless 0. If you're using a cable on Linux it will be Ethernet 0, but because I'm on wireless it is this one. And that's it. You don't need to configure any more, but you can if you want to do any more kind of advanced stuff later, if you wanted. This you can all leave alone as well. Select OK. Now you can press Start, and this will appear. Select English, and then press Install Ubuntu Server. Now this is the install screen. So choose your language. For me it's English. I'm in the UK. I'm not going to bother with this. I could just select English UK, English UK. You just need to wait a couple of minutes for the main install screen to appear. Now it's retrieving packages off of the CD image that will be used to install the system onto the virtual hard drive that we created before. Now you can give this a name. I'm just going to call this Virt Server. Full name for the new user. I'm just going to call this User. And you can give your first name or whatever name you like. This will be your login name later. So in small case, I'm just going to have user. You can choose a password. Can be any length, but of course more complex passwords are more secure. You can encrypt your home directory if you wanted. I'm not going to bother. Obviously it'd be more secure if you did with a server. I'm in Europe/London time zone. Now, this is where it comes to partitioning the hard drive. I like to do this manually. So here we have our 10 GB virtual drive. I'm going to select this, create a new partition table because it has not been formatted, and now we can see free space. Select the free space, create a new partition. I'm just going to create one big partition, the maximum size. Just go down and select done, setting up the new partition. I'm just going to select finish, but it will complain about not having any swap space, but I am not going to assign any swap space because I am going to install a package that can compress RAM, and also the Ubuntu server doesn't use that much RAM anyway. Of course, if you do need more RAM, you can just go back into the settings over here and increase this if you wanted. So you should not need that much swap space. So select no, right, change to disk. And now we wait for the install to finish. This may take a while depending on your system. This is where you enter your proxy information. If you have a proxy, I don't, so I'm just going to leave it blank. Now it is installing the main system. This will take a while. Now we're presented with this screen. Now, because it's a server, install security updates automatically is a very good option to pick, so I will choose this. This will make sure your server is kept up to date at all times. Now, here is where you install you select packages that you want to be installed, and we need OpenSSH for configuration. A LAMP server that can be installed if you're, say, using WordPress. You can install that, or whatever, like the Samba file server, if you want to access files off the server using the Windows file sharing network. Say you're on your Windows PC, using the Samba file server would be very useful for transferring files. Select continue. And now we wait for the rest of the system to be installed with the packages you have selected. Now, when you're using MySQL, you need to enter a password for the root user. Now you're presented with this screen to do with the bootloader. Just press yes. This will install the bootloader onto the primary virtual hard drive so that the system can boot later on. We're almost finished here now, and it will ask to remove the installation CD, so we can go to Devices, CD, but it's already been ejected, so we don't need to click this. Continue. Now the virtual machine will reboot and boot straight into Ubuntu Server, like so. And here we are. To log in, use your username from before, ours was user, and your password. Here we go. Now the first thing you want to do is update the server. And you use sudo apt-get update, and then your password. This checks for new packages. This command on its own does not upgrade the system. You have to type sudo apt-get upgrade, and these new packages have been updated, so press yes and wait for these to download, and then they will be installed over the top of the old packages. Because we're using the latest version of Ubuntu Server, there aren't that many. Okay, this is as far as we'll go today. In the next video I will cover how to configure the web server and the fixed IP address and web access and all of that. Thanks for watching.